Hey everybody, we are back here with John Miller and the Hometown Historian channel. We're going to be doing a country roads take me home, and we're going to be doing a vlog at the same time. So I want to talk about a couple of the things upcoming, some of the plans. I know we haven't really talked about the YouTuber meet and greet for a little bit because I'm just trying to get sort of a general idea of what's going to happen with the foot and everything. I still have the cast on. I was in yesterday and got it off and then back on again. It's almost completely healed, but I am working full time now, so that's probably going to play a little bit of a role on making it take a little longer to heal. So there is no surgery, as I said before, so that does change things a little bit. I had talked to Millersburg Ferry, and they run potentially into October depending on the height of the water, but usually by Labor Day they close. So we have through September to try to do something. I still got to get together because I'm thinking, I was originally like, maybe we can do it by the end of August, but it's not enough time. So I'm thinking like middle of September is what we're going to have to go for, to have the Saturday as the main date and then the rain date as Sunday. So I will keep you guys posted. I got to communicate with them and see if we can come up with a date that they think works and go from there, because I would really very, very much like to have this event. Also, another event I will make you guys aware of that you're more than welcome to on October 7th at Myerstown at the Isaac Meyer Homestead. We will be having Country Fair Day. This is an event they've been having for quite a while. It supports the Isaac Meyer Homestead, probably the Recreation Board as well. And I am going to be running walking tours. I'm not going to be running them. I'm going to be walking the walking tours. But I'm setting that up right now, trying to figure out how I want to do it, what buildings I all want to include. I don't want to make them too long a walking tour just because I'm not fantastic yet. The cast will be off and everything by then. We will also be doing one right around Christmas as well. We'll be doing a walking tour then as well. That will be Christmas centric as well. So I will keep you guys posted on those as well. I'll be printing out, making up flyers for the walking tour to have pictures from different times of these different buildings that we're going to be checking out, telling the history, telling the stories, so people that are in the walking tour can sort of follow along with the tour itself. But I also want to do, if possible, I want to try to put together a driving tour. So people have the option of stopping by my stand for the Hometown Historian and for the walking tours, and we'll have an option of being able to go on their own driving tours to check out some of these really neat historic buildings, some of which we've already visited. This is sort of a terrifying intersection, I will say so. But anyways, because you really can't look to the left, you can see, to the right not so much. We're good. But anyways, so that's one of the things that we have announced. This will be the video tonight. I'm doing this. I had to go over and get myself another air mattress because the air mattress I had gone to replace my original air mattress, which lasted a long time. This one died a horrifying death and almost knocked me right off the thing. It has sort of these, you have the poofy part, and then you have the I guess it's the part that are sort of glued down. Well, they popped. And one of them popped while I was on it and sort of launched me like a rocket. I was in the middle of a text to a friend, and it sort of went, hey, this is what's going on. You know, it was bizarre. So, hilarious to look at, but bizarre. So, but anyways, so I went over to Myerstown to pick up, because we were starting the tour there, the Country Roads tour, there at Ace Hardware, Dutch Country, or Ace Hardware, right along Route 422, and then turned right. I forget what the name of it is, but it used to be where Dutch Way was, and that's the Dutch Way that I worked at back when it was owned by the Martins completely. We're coming up on the village of Mount Etna. I believe this had another name when it first started, and then they did change it, and Mount Etna would once again be one of these biblical names. This is one, at some point we got to do a hometown foundations on this, and a short that talks about who founded it, when, and why. They have a really nice pizza joint here. It's an old building here that I would believe most likely was an inn, probably back late 1700s into the 1800s. It's got a cool cupola up on top there too. But that is still a pizza shop. I know that that's supposed to be quite tasty, but it's quite a historic building there as well. And this is Route 501, and we're going to go across here. I'm going to go through a couple other cool towns. I don't think we've ever taken these roads, but we're going to today. But anyways, some of the videos upcoming, we're going to be starting a new series. I should have had my camera over there. There's an old, I think it was an old school building, clapboard siding, really neat building. But anyways, we're going to start a new series on sort of what was it like for people back in the day if they were destitute, especially around the Revolutionary War period is when we're going to start. But we're going to go back further. We're going to go back, come up a little sooner, up to like 1900, because the poor have always, and the destitute have always lived with sort of a bad rap. Having gone through this whole process and not being pleasant, you still have a little bit of that, but thankfully they don't do to you today what they did to you back then. And we're going to sort of go through the odd jobs that people had to do to survive, what it was like going through the poorhouses and the almshouses. They had it at Fort Loudon. It's called, what was it? Geez, my brain. Scoundrel's Alley. I don't know why I couldn't think of that for a second, but they do a really cool preservation of history. They go to all these different fairs and that type of stuff, and I guess they do different time periods. They actually had one of the gentlemen that helped run this whole thing just passed back, I believe, in March. It's really sad because they have there's three different groups. You have the Scoundrels Alley, and I'll wind out when I do that opening introduction to the series, I will put all their websites on. But you have a Parson, I think it's Parson, I'm not even going to say the name, but it's Parson John and Maggie, I believe. And he actually does like services, I think almost every Sunday, sort of like how they would have been back then. But they have a really cool website. I think they're sort of the parent to everybody else from what I was gathering. I may be wrong on that, but that's what I sort of gathered that they were. And then you have Scoundrels Alley, and then there was this Fairy something entertainment, and that's the one that the guy that passed away was running. So I don't know how much that is going to continue to operate, or if the other groups are just going to sort of pick up what they used to do and continue that on, which I sort of hope. I think it just depends on what's rights and stuff like that, everything that goes with that, because that can be sort of bizarre and sort of hard to get through. But it was really, really awesome what they did there, and they have all these neat posters. So we're going to go through each of the individual jobs, the odd names, what the people went through, and we're just going to have it as a series. And then, like I said, we'll go earlier time periods, because I think this is primarily, say, 1700 to maybe like early 1800s roughly is what most of these jobs that they were concentrating on, because everything at Fort Loudon is supposed to be 1730 to 1790, so roughly that time period. But a lot of that stuff still remained the same through probably 1820, 1830, and then you just sort of had stuff started to change, technologies came in vogue, and that kind of thing. So some of those jobs might have changed then, because there are a lot of different jobs. You still had your almshouses and your poorhouses through in to the early 1900s, World War I period. And then a lot of social changes started happening where they realized a lot of that stuff was not right. So I think that's going to be a really neat series for us to be checking out and have a lot of fun with it. So I'm hoping to have the introduction video out hopefully tomorrow. Then we're going to do the video on the battles of the Cornwall and Lebanon and the Cornwall Railroads. I think that's pretty cool. I was actually, when I did the Cornwall Rail Trails, they had a sign up there talking about it, and I had talked about it in short when we did the Donamore Mansion and Rail Station. I sort of talked about that a little bit there, like some of the hostilities within the family. This is really like interesting. So we're going to do a video just on that. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys. Then I have a whole bunch of videos that I got to go out and get a little bit more footage. I've talked about that I need to get the video done on Daniel Jones. He was the former slave of Thomas Jefferson that is buried over in Mount Nebo Cemetery in Ono, Pennsylvania. But there's a whole bunch of sites that I want to visit, including Lights Fort, where we've been several times, because that played a role in the Jones family history and legacy. And we'll also go to I believe it's St. John's AME Church in Lebanon. They played a major role, the family, in starting that church. It's an African Methodist Episcopal church. So we'll have a bunch of those coming out here, along with the Brethren Church that's out in Indiantown Gap, that Moss Lady was so kind and generous in taking us there. And also the Daniel Jones video is because of her bringing that awareness to me. So we want to be doing those. There's the Lost Churches of the Swatera video, which will be coming out. Amongst a number of other things, there's a couple different local churches that I've been wanting to do for a while. I'm going to go do them in their cemetery. Those videos will be coming out. And then some future plans. There's a place called the Landis Valley Farm. I think it's museum, but I picked up the pamphlet at one of these fairs, and I think we're going to go there on a Saturday coming up at some point. We also, maybe this Sunday, depending on what's all going on, I would really, really like to take you guys out to the trolley in Mannheim and maybe do a little bit of a street walk there in the market square of Mannheim, just so you can see all the cool buildings and maybe talk about some of them as well, and just some of the history that's with them. I think that would make for a really cool video to check out the town of Mannheim. And at some point we want to get back to Lidditz to hit a bunch of those buildings as well. There's the oldest pretzel factory in North America, the Sturgis Pretzel Factory. We can't go in and film, but I can talk about the factory to a degree and the history, and buy some more pretzels for myself selfishly and enjoy them. We have been at this cemetery that's coming up here shortly. We did a short video on this. I believe this is a Brethren church. The church is now to the west. I don't know how well we'll be able to see it because the corn being so high, but it is coming up right here on the right. We'll also be doing a video on the France family. We had visited their cemetery, and I had somebody who is the head of sort of the genealogy and stuff like that, who contacted me and sent me a bunch of more information, and hopefully we'll be able to get some more and then do a little more history on the France family, because I really love the opportunity to go back to these locations where we filmed, and when we get more information, be able to share that with you guys and go a little more in depth on this awesome family that came over. I believe them from Switzerland. And it also is sort of cool, my friend Bob has a connection with that family as well. So I would really like to go back there and get some more information for him as well. So, yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff upcoming. Really looking forward to going on these new adventures with you guys. There's, at some point, I want to start making some trips as well on the weekend when I'm able to, and maybe during the week, because the weeks I'm off on Saturday, or I work on Saturday, I have off Wednesdays. So Wednesdays we'll be making some trips to go check some things out and go from there. And hopefully I'll be able to get the shorts up and coming again. It's just sort of right now, I'm just reacclimating myself to working full time, and my body's just worn. So that's why there's some space in between the videos and that type of stuff. It just sort of is what it is. I know you guys always, are telling me, take your time, take care of yourself, and I'm doing that. That's why there's a couple days between videos right now, because I just don't have the energy to take care of that kind of stuff, to do stuff every single day. But we will be getting back to that at some point once I really get fully reacclimated to working full time and doing everything that I've been able to do before. So anyways, so as always, I want to say thank you. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and history is out there, my friends, and as always, we'll see you all about town.